Welcome to the Florida Homesteader Podcast, where we bring the pages of the magazine to life, sharing all the stories, the skills, and the spirit of homesteading across the Sunshine State. From backyard gardens to family farms and everything in between, we are here to inspire, encourage, and celebrate the Florida homesteading way of life. I'm Jamie Bateman, your host and editor-in-chief of the Florida Homesteader magazine, and we're so glad that you joined us today. So folks, go grab you some iced tea and let's jump into today's podcast chat. Well, welcome back to the Florida Homesteader Podcast. My name is Jamie, and I'm very grateful that you have joined us today. This is actually kind of part two of a conversation that we had with the Brucker bunch. If you happened to listen before, you heard all things sod. Other Side Sod Farm, which is Michael and Jenna Brucker, shared with us the joys and some of the struggles of having a sod farm in the state of Florida, what that means for the agricultural world. But now we get to have another part of a huge blessing that I say that has been to the community, is a calling that they have done with dairy. We're talking Jersey A2 dairy cows. And so we are here with Jenna, and she's going to share with us this. Again, I'm going to call it a calling because I feel like that's what it was. And your story is just, it just really speaks to that. So Jenna, thank you for coming back on the show with us. Thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
It'll be fun to talk all things cows.
Yes. I can talk cows anytime.
Yeah, you can. All right. So our friends who are listening, they understand that you have that sod business as well, but you also built a small family dairy operation.
Yes.
How did that get started?
That's what everybody asks me. Were you looking for more things to do? No. So we have, some people refer to it as like a micro dairy. It's small. But we started off 3 years ago with, my husband has always loved milk and never had any issues with it until a few years before that. And he just couldn't drink it. And I just did some reading, and I looked into it, and I saw that there was a very good chance that he would be able to drink raw milk. And we have some available in our town, but I read about the difference in the A2 milk. So I went to a dairy and I bought a Jersey cow and brought her home. And I said, okay, I'm going to milk this cow and it's going to be great. Mm-hmm. And we've learned a lot about it, but I mean, that's how we started. I started with one cow for our family, but she produced so much. We were getting 7 gallons a day, and we couldn't keep up with that much. We drink about 3 gallons a day. And so we started sharing it with people at our church and our homeschool co-op. And next thing you know, it snowballed, and now I have lots of them.
You have a lot of cows. So that first cow, and I failed to mention this before. Your family is actually one of our stories in the Florida Homesteader, the first issue coming out at this time of our recording. It hasn't happened yet, so it's November, December,
right.
Issue for 2025. But we are so excited to tell that story. So we're going to encourage folks that there's a little bit more detail to what she kind of skimmed over. So you got to go get the magazine, and you got to hear the stories of, and maybe even what that cow's name was, and just, but in the story, in the magazine, you talk about, and I don't know that I really want you to give it away, because I want them to go get the magazine, but you talk about, you talk about how, she produced quick.
Yes.
She was, yes.
I came home with her in the trailer from Okeechobee, and I got home and I was like, okay, well, here we are. And we went to milking on her, and she came from a commercial dairy. So she was not a hand milk cow, but she was very sweet. She was not a halter broken cow, but she was halter broken the first day we put a halter on her. Mm-hmm. She just I think she realized that she had gotten a good deal by coming home with us. Because then she was just babied and washed and taken care of really good. Not that anybody else doesn't, but on a large scale, you can't do that to every cow. And we only had her. So she instantly was our I would say she was the queen. And, we took really good care of her, and we still have her, and she's still wonderful.
And she's still sweet. She is
great.
Still sweet.
I can't tell you the name. You have to read the magazine.
You got to read the magazine to find out her name.
Yes.
And
I think a book written on her.
She does. She does. Put her hoof print in it as her autograph. That would be kind of cool.
Yep.
So you have Jersey A2 cows.
I do.
Explain to me why Jersey, first of all, and then why A2.
Okay. So I do have Jersey and I have Brown Swiss. I have a couple Brown Swiss, they produce the same kind of milk as the Jersey. That heavy cream line, which everybody loves because for multiple reasons. For one, the milk is just creamy and delicious. And for two, you can pull that cream off and make all the things you want to make with delicious cream. And as you know personally, you could pull a lot of cream off of a gallon of milk, where if you were to go get Holstein milk, the Holsteins just don't produce the cream. Actually, in a commercial dairy, most of the time, they will have a small percentage of the cows. Most of them will be the Holsteins, the black and white spotted cows, and they will always have a handful of Jerseys just to bring that cream line up.
Okay.
It helps bump that line up. So if you're passing by a dairy on the side of the road and you see all these black and white cows, and then you see a Jersey or a Brown Swiss, that's because they want to, they bring that cream content higher. So, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's I chose them because they produce that special milk, that A2 milk.
Tell us about that. So for folks that are not familiar with the A2 component, tell us a little bit about what that is.
So the A2 is it's the protein in the milk, and there's A1A2 and there's A2A2, and the A1A2 is what a typical cow would produce. Pretty much any cow, even I believe even just beef cattle, all of them would produce a regular A1A2 milk, or A1A1. But the A2 is a little bit harder to find, and that is where the protein is actually very similar. It's pretty much very close, if not the same, to a human. And so our bodies don't have to fight it off as much when we consume that milk. It's just easier on your body. And most people who have a major dairy intolerance, they can handle the A2. And I believe that goes back to back a long time ago when they started pasteurizing milk and they started homogenizing and doing all those things to the milk and adding the fake stuff back into it, synthetic vitamin D and all the things that they add back into it. That's when, if you look, that's when all these dairy intolerances kind of skyrocketed. And I really think that the raw milk in general, the most people with dairy issues can handle that. Then there's the severe ones who can't even handle that, and they need the A2 milk, which I haven't had anybody who couldn't handle that yet. And I've seen some pretty severe cases.
So Michael was one of those that A2 was a blessing. It helped him. Yeah.
It was. He could go right to drinking it and had no issues with it.
Nice. For those listening, just a little testimony on my part. I also have severe issues. I was one that I could not tolerate store-bought milk. I could tolerate a little bit of the raw milk, but it was the A2 that made a world of a difference for me. And really got me to a point where I've got a gallon in my refrigerator now. And if I get thirsty, and your body craves it, which is crazy. We crave it. Like when we get our milk from you, I can't get it in the door fast enough before Billy has popped the top, cream and all, and just chugging it. I'm like, dude, can I get the cream so I can make some butter, please? If you gave him the cow and he just got to the cow, he would be happy. Like he would take it straight out.
Yes. And my kids do that when it's cold. They will come out with, I think that we shared our recipe with you.
Yes.
And they'll
Yes.
come out and get it warm straight from the cow and shake it up with a little cinnamon and a little maple syrup in it. And
Uh-huh.
so
Lakeland's hugging a mug. When you get the
Yep.
magazine, you're going to see Lakeland's hugging a mug.
Hugging a
Lakeland
mug.
is her daughter, and
Yes.
she is absolutely gorgeous, and that is her little recipe for an amazing warm milk
drink.
warm drink. It is so good.
Yes.
So get the magazine. You can have that recipe.
If you don't have a dairy cow at home, that's okay. You can still
That's okay.
get the milk and warm it up and do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the benefits for having, what are some of the benefits that you have seen, not only in your family, but also in the community, and for customers of yours or consumers of the A2 milk? What benefits have you seen from that?
Oh my goodness. So many. I will start off with my own family. We have 6 kids, 3 girls and 3 boys. I think we said that in the part A, the sod version. We've got 6 kids, and right now they're ages 6 to 15, and so they're for the last 3 years since we got a dairy cow. I mean, kids of that age get sick, and we do homeschool, so they're not around as much. But we would 3 or 4 times a year, our whole family would get sick, and it would run through us, flu or stomach bug or whatever. We would get it, and I always dreaded it because I was like, oh, okay, here comes one sick. We caught it from somewhere. I don't know where, got it at the grocery store or whatever. So, but since we started having the raw milk, I literally can't tell you the last time. I think it's been 3 years since we have been sick. We just don't get sick, and I have got to, the only difference is the raw milk. I've got to attribute that to the live cultures and the good bacteria that we're consuming every day, and our gut health. And we've been around people who are sick, the same people, and I'm sure that that's the difference. So if we're at church and we're around somebody who has been sick or something like that, we'll come home and I'll say, all right, everybody, y'all all get a tablespoon of colostrum, because I freeze dry the colostrum from the cows, and I'll give them all a dose of colostrum. Line up, guys, and they all get it, and it's like an immune boost real quick. But the milk does the same thing every day, but that's just a little extra, and we literally don't get sick. So I'm going to say, number one for us, well, Michael being able to drink it, but we just haven't been sick. And so that's been huge. And at our church, we've got a handful of people there that I typically show up to church with the back of my truck, coolers full of milk. And they all run to the back of my truck at the end of the service, and everybody gets their milk. And I love it. I just, I think it's great. It's very old fashioned. I'm the milk lady. The same thing with our co-op, our homeschool co-op. I take a load of milk with us every Tuesday, and I've just had such good feedback from it. Everybody likes the flavor of it. I think it's the type of cows that we have, their diet that has just, it's not real gamey or barnyardy. It's real clean and fresh and creamy, and everybody seems to really like it.
You mentioned the whole gut health concept, and that is,
yes.
It's crazy when you start diving into this world of wanting to eat cleaner and consume things that are naturally grown, and they're not grown in a large. We're not, and I'm going to say, I'm going to preface it by saying this: we are not against large ag. We love our large ag. If we did not have large ag, we would not be able to feed, or people would not be able to get fed. So we absolutely love large ag. So I want that to be very clear. But in doing so, there's a difference when you eat a tomato that you raised versus eating a tomato that came from a grocery store. Right. And not everybody can do that, and we understand that. But at the same time, there is a difference, because you know what goes into that food. You know what goes into that product. You know what you're eating. You know what you're feeding your family.
What's in the soil.
What's in the soil, what you're putting back into your system. So when you do stuff like that, and if you can't do it like that, there's the probiotics and the prebiotics through kefir or water kefir, milk kefir,
Yep.
sauerkraut, fermenting vegetables, any of those things, is they have such a huge impact on your gut health. And it's crazy how your gut is almost like the fingerprint of your health system. It does everything, and it connects to everything. And so when you have a healthy gut, they always say you have a happy wife, happy life. I think if you have a happy gut, you have a happy life,
Yes.
And you need that happy gut. And it's
Yeah. Nobody wants an angry gut. That's for sure.
No, you do not want an angry gut. It's not fun.
And
it is not fun.
People have that, and they don't realize that they could change those things just by what they're feeding their body, and what a difference. The closer to, if you get the closer you get to how God made it. If it's a tomato, and you pick it off the vine, and you don't even have to refrigerate it. You bring it in warm out of the sunshine, and you eat it. That's the best way to have it. I mean, just get rid of the steps. The closer you can have it to the way that God made it is the best. And
absolutely,
I believe that those are gut healing things. And this milk is the same, like you said, the water kefir is really good for your gut. I mean, not water kefir. Milk kefir, water kefir. Milk kefir is the best. And milk kefir thrives on raw milk, where you could do milk kefir with store-bought milk, but it doesn't thrive on it. It thrives on it. It does so much better on raw milk. And I cannot tell you how many people have told me, oh, my kefir is so much better now.
Really? I actually heard, thank you for clarifying that, because I had actually heard the opposite, that milk kefir grains, if you have your own kefir grains and you make your own kefir, that it actually does better with pasteurized milk than raw milk, because when you do it with the raw milk, what I heard was that when you do it with the raw milk, you're actually stripping it from the raw milk's components, and you're taking away what you're trying to build back for your gut health. So that's not the case.
No, not in my opinion.
Okay.
It thrives on it, and actually the grains will double and quadruple in size.
Big time.
Reproduce, yes, in the raw milk quicker than they do. I have a lady who doesn't really drink milk at our church, and she goes and she gets it just to do her kefir with, and she's like, man, I've been buying. She'll go 2 or 3 weeks and forget to get it from me, and she'll say, oh man, it's so much better when I do it with raw milk. But it is. They grow so much faster. They do so much better. And I haven't ever heard it the opposite way. I definitely think it does best with the raw milk.
Well, I thought so too.
Sense.
I mean, it does make sense. And when I heard it the opposite way, I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe I misunderstood. I don't know. But so do you make your own kefir?
I do.
What do you have a special recipe, which is not in the magazine, by the way, so we can reveal this information?
Yeah.
Do you have a special recipe that you like to do for your kefir?
So I use it all different ways. I will make it and add it to a smoothie. So I have the milk kefir grains, and I let it sit out about 24 hours in the milk. And then my favorite thing to do, though, and you have to do milk kefir, and then you can do this like every other time, is my favorite thing is to make sour cream with the kefir grains. And you put that in cream. So you take the raw cream that you've scooped off the top or separated in your cream separator. Take that cream and put those grains in there. Now, the grains don't thrive in the cream. I think it's too much for them. So they will work, but then you can't do back-to-back sour cream. So you need to go back to milk and let them get good and strong again, and then you can make more sour cream. But you only need to make sour cream so often. So you don't need it every day. So, but it makes the best sour cream. Oh my goodness! You put that in there. So you put the grains in the cream, and leave it about 24 hours. Strain the grains off. Put the cream in the fridge. Let it cool, and you have a sour cream. It is like fancy, delicious cream. It's so good.
Really?
And then, and then for regular milk kefir, I just put the grains in there, let it sit 24 hours. Sometimes it's longer. If I'm busy, I just leave it out longer. It'll be a little more tangier. Drain the grains off, and then I use that kefir in a smoothie or in a recipe, or just drink it. I mean, Michael he'll just go get it and drink. He'll just take a big swig of it, which is really good, super good for your guts. If you have any gut issues, that's super good for it.
We've been doing store-bought kefir, but I would much rather get back to my homemade kefir.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And you can add whatever you want in with it. You can add it to yogurt. Just don't use it hot. Don't heat it up because it's alive. Okay. But and make the sour cream. It's good.
I'm gonna make this. I actually have a jug that we just thawed out, and that I didn't take the cream off of it yet, so I'm gonna do that. I've got kefir sitting on my counter now.
And then go back to the milk after you've done the ferment with it, because those grains, I did it back to back a couple times, and my grains just kind of like didn't work as well. They don't. I think the cream is a little much for them, but they can do it one good batch. They can do it and then go back to the milk.
Yeah, they get hungry.
They do. They do. Yep.
There's a lot of talk out there in regards to raw milk and what that looks like. There's the pro. You got people who say there's the pros, and then you got people who say there's the cons, and you have this whole discussion of to drink it or not to drink it. That is the question kind of concept.
Yes.
And again, nothing against dairy farmers who do the pasteurized milk. Hats off.
We need all of them.
We do need all of them, and hats off to the dairy farmers, and especially in the state of Florida, because they are unfortunately getting wiped out, and
they are
sad. It is so sad.
I don't know exactly the number, but it's really low. The number of dairy farms left in Florida is I think it might be in the 20s.
I want to say, and I want to say that there over 100 dairies recently that got shut down, or had to shut down
in the last 5 years.
Yeah, across the state.
It's just crazy. I would say that it's difficult to have dairy cattle in Florida. An ideal temperature for a cow producing, at full production, is 65 degrees. And how many 65 degree days do we have here in Florida? Probably I could count on about one hand.
Yeah, we don't even get to the lows in 65 some days.
No, it is not very much. So that being said, these mama cows, they are producing, their bodies are working extra hard to make this milk, and they are hot. And us being on a small scale has worked really well, because we were able to dig a nice big lake, and it's actually shaded. There's oak trees all around it, so they can be in the water with the shade over them, and they hang out there like a bunch of hens in a hen house, and they they just go all the way down in there, and so my cows stay clean because they're always in the pond. But having dairy in Florida is it's not just simple. Even if you just have one, I mean, my first cow, I found out we did not have a pond when I got my first cow, and she would go out. I'd put her in the pasture, and I just thought, well, she's a cow, I'll just put her in the pasture. Well, I didn't put her in the pasture that had like lots and lots of shade, and it was also hot. I got her in June, so I had her over the summertime. She would stand out there with her tongue hanging out, and I mean, just panting. And I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So I would bring her in the stall, and I'd put her under a fan, and I'd hose her. I even got one time, until I learned why they're so hot from making all that milk, I even got trash bags, and I went to our ice maker, and I filled them with ice, and I tied them together like saddlebags over her, and I cooled her. I was I'm going to cool this poor cow off somehow, because she was so hot. But now that we have the lake, there's no problem. They go out and they get in the lake when they're hot, and when they're good, they get out and they go eat, and they're great.
Yeah.
So I can see where dairies are way better suited for north of here.
Yeah.
Anywhere north of Florida. Even North Florida would be better than here. It's hot.
I agree. It's hot.
So,
it does get hot. Yeah.
That is pretty, that's something we have to deal with.
Absolutely.
But us being a small scale, it's very good because we can kind of handle it. If I had 300 cows, that would be really hard to get them all in a lake.
Well, so for being a smaller operation, you obviously, your cows are spoiled.
They're spoiled. They all
it.
have names, and they all know it, and they know who they are. And when you call a name, they know who you're talking to.
They do. They know it. That's
spoiled.
funny. Yep. I love it. Okay. So going back, because I think that was kind of a 2-part discussion, but going back to the fear almost that circles around raw milk.
Yes.
How do you, because I know you get asked that question. How do you respond? What do you tell folks?
So I had a lady call me last week, and she said, "Hey, I bought your milk." She got it at a market in Parrish, and she said, "I got it. I'm so excited." She said, I've drank it a couple times, and she said, "It's so good." She said, "But I'm bringing it up to a boil before I drink it every time." She said, "I'm boiling it." And I said, "Why are you boiling it?" And she said, "Well, because I want it to be safe." And I was like, oh. I said, "Let me just tell you." But people don't know. People are, it's been drilled into their head so much that raw milk is unsafe. It's just unsafe. And unfortunately, she really thought that's what she had to do. So she had no problem with it. She was boiling it, and then she'd cool it back off, and then she'd drink it. And, but I said, "Listen, when you boil it, you're losing all of the good nutrients. You might as well just drink regular store-bought milk. This is not any better by the time you boil it."
Right.
And so, anyway, I get that question all the time. And yes, we do label it for pet consumption, not for human consumption. And, I have a lot of calls on that. Oh, I got home and it says it's only for pets. And I say, well, you can do what you want with it. Yeah. And they're like, "Well, do you drink it?" "Oh, yes, of course we drink it." "Oh, okay." So, it's sad that we've been just kind of brainwashed that much to where everybody really thinks raw milk is unsafe. And, I would love to think that, actually, since 2020, there has been a huge wave of people that are coming to realize what's going on and realizing that maybe not everything that's told is correct. And so they're open to learning more about eating the food, all foods, but the milk as God made it. And,
right, absolutely.
And I would say, know your farmer. Like if you're listening and you're up north in North Florida or whatever, when you go to look for raw milk, not all raw milk is the same. Ask them if it's A2 if that's what you need. And also know your farmer, know their practices, know what they're like. Anytime anybody wants to come and watch and see what we do, I'm happy for them to do it. I do not have a big parlor or anything fancy yet. We do very clean practices, but I'm happy for people to come and get to know me and see what we do. And if they're uncomfortable still when they leave, then that is fine with me. I'm not trying to sell the product to anybody. If you get to know your farmer, because you don't want to just go and get milk from somebody who's maybe just hand milking into a bucket, and you don't want where dairy becomes dangerous is when things contaminate the milk. And we have milk pails, so we have it's a closed container. And so it stays very clean. And then we also milk filter. We run it through a milk filter and we cool it right away. So it's cooled instantly, like right away. If that milk is sitting out room temperature, there's more chances for things to grow. Just say we milked into a bucket and somehow a little piece of manure somehow got in there and it's 98 degrees. Things want to grow at that temperature. That's where you need to know your farmer and trust your farmer. And if you have a bad feeling about them, then maybe find a new one. But I would say for the most part, 95% of farmers who are going to be doing raw milk, they're probably if they're going to take the time to do the raw milk, they're putting the time into doing it clean and doing it the right way because they have a heart for it. It's not something that you would want to do half-heartedly because if you're doing it, then you're probably doing it for a good reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't waste your time.
Right. So I want to ask you about the day in and day out operation, but before I do that, I kind of want to jump back just a second. For those that are thinking that they want to consume raw milk or they want to try it, or folks that have tried raw milk in the past and who say, yeah, I drank it, but I still got sick. That's okay. That's okay if they still got sick because, and you can probably elaborate more on this than what I will be able to do, but there's good bacteria that is in the raw milk. So when you consume that raw milk, that good bacteria is going to work and is battling the bad stuff that's in your gut. Again, going back to that gut health, and it's battling that bad stuff in your gut. So that reaction that you're feeling is a battle going on.
War.
It's a war going on. And if you just stick with it, the good bacteria will win.
It'll win over. Yeah.
So if you're new to drinking raw milk, specifically the A2 component side of it, take a weekend is what I would tell you. Take a weekend, just try it, stay at home. Don't plan to go anywhere if you are that sensitive. But you buy from Friday to Monday, joy comes in the morning. I'm telling you, it's going to be different.
Yes. And for most people, probably for 90% of the people, they're not going to have that reaction. But yes,
Correct.
Exactly. When you have if your gut's out of whack or you have a really strong dairy intolerance, then your gut's going to be battling back and forth. That good bacteria is going to be in there fighting out that bad bacteria that has taken over your gut, and it's going to be you may be a little uncomfortable for a little while, but that's just proof that you didn't have a good gut biome set up to begin with.
Like I said earlier, I'm now able to go open up a jug and I can just drink it, and nothing, no problem.
I drink a full big Yeti cup. Twice a day. And everybody says, oh man, it's got so much cream and fat on it. Well, how do you not weigh, 300 pounds or something? I love it. But you know what? It's a different kind of fat. It's a healthy fat.
Yes.
That cream in there, I drink it whole. I don't take anything off of it. That cream in there is good. It's good fat. Like avocado has good fat in it. There's difference in healthy fat and not healthy fat. And that raw milk cream, it's good. It's good fat. My son, he's 15 and he drinks an entire gallon at least, if not a gallon and a half by himself every day.
Wow.
Yeah. And he is as skinny as a beanpole.
Yeah, he is, but he's got strong bones.
He does. He got strong bones and good teeth. And, I tell you, I don't know. And we don't get sick. And I don't know what else to attribute any of that to.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, absolutely. So walk us through, what is a typical day? And again, just as a reminder, this is all in the magazine and I can't wait.
Yes.
So this conversation that you and I are having is more of an in-depth, beyond the pages type of a conversation. But what does a daily walk through the operation, what does that look like for you?
So 5:30 in the morning and 5:30 at night. We milk 12 hours apart. That's to try and not push them to where they're too full and uncomfortable. The girls like to come in and be milked, and so in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, we go out to the gate, and they are all standing there waiting. They are. It is very rare that one is not there, that you have to go look. I mean, very rare. They are most of the time standing right there at the gate waiting. And when when you open up the gate, they go directly up to the barn, and they put themselves, so they know which one. We have the queens, and they like to go and be milked first. And the other ones know, don't get in the way. So, yeah. So right now it's latte and cocoa. It changes because as they freshen and as we dry them off, new head honchos come in. But anyway, the latte and cocoa, they'll go right in first, and then the rest of them go in the stall and wait. And then we milk two at a time. And I'm milking them in blocking chutes for grooming cattle when I used to groom. And that's what I milk them in right now. It's just a very simple, it just has a head catch. I don't even have to catch them because they just stand there. They get a little bit of a special mixed grain that we give them, that we have mixed. They get a little bit of that in front of them, and they will stand, even if they don't have grain, they will stand there because the relief, they love it. And so they get emptied out, and then they go back out, and they go right back out to the pasture, and they have knee-deep bahia grass and a pond to get in, and they just are living the life. But then we'll come back 5:30 at night, go back out. They're waiting at the gate. They come in, and they do it all over again. And it takes about an hour, start to finish, for me. I have a girl that helps me that is wonderful, and Krista, and she helps me a lot. So that kind of makes it work, because if it was just me, I would not even hardly be able to do anything, including, we're milking 9 cows right now. So, and they have to be milked at 5:30. So 5:30 at night is about the time you need to start, at least be thinking about dinner for a family of 8. And so she has been a huge help. And so she helps me milking. And but we bring them in, we bring the milk in, we put it through the milk strainer right into the bulk tank. The bulk tank holds only 65 gallons. That gets washed every 3 days, completely emptied out and washed every 3 days. And we make cream on certain days while supplies last. When the milk demand is too high and we don't have enough milk to make cream, we don't make cream, and then we have sad people. But if it can go out in milk form, that's easier for us than making cream. But we do try to keep up with, at least with our co-ops that are picking up, to at least supply what their demand is in cream. And yes, so I have pickups multiple times a week from 4 different co-ops, and so we have milk all the way up. I mean, I've had people call all the way from like Daytona Beach. Wow, milk everywhere. It's going everywhere. I mean, we don't have that much milk. We make about 40 gallons a day, but it goes to these co-ops, and then it's kind of spread far and wide. And I also offer it in glass. And a lot of people love that, because I don't know of any other dairy around you can get it in glass. So the glass component is a big thing. That way you are staying away from the plastic. And so, yeah, it's a day in and day out. It doesn't matter if there's a hurricane. It doesn't matter if it's 900 degrees outside and you don't feel like doing it. You have to go out and you have to milk, and it has to happen. And it doesn't matter if you have a meeting or if you have something. You have to have it lined up where you got somebody that's going to milk for you. And now, so,
did the kids help you at all with this?
They do. They do.
They're out there doing it.
Yeah, they help a lot. Especially my little one Zona. loves to milk. And she will tell me the night before, I cannot tell you how many times she's come into my room and snuck in there in the middle of the night and literally laid where I have to step when I wake up so that I would wake her up to go help. Because sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I want to let her sleep. Yeah. And she will be so upset with herself if she doesn't get to help. So,
oh my gosh.
Or she'll write me a little note and lay it on top of my phone and please wake me up, Mom. And
sweet.
Yeah, she loves it. She loves it, and I cherish that because I know I won't always have a little time when begging to do what I want. So I love that. I love it.
Tell the folks, how old is Zona?
She's 7. She's 7. Yeah,
that's
and
precious.
she will. I have pictures of her dead asleep at the barn on a hay bale, or she'll climb up on the gator and curl up in the seat of the gator that we go out and let the cows in with, and she'll just fall asleep there. But she's made it out and she's helped. But she most of the time stays awake the whole time, and she can wash the cows, completely wash them. We wash them with warm water. We dip them with like an iodine dip, and then we wipe it off, and then we strip each quarter. We strip out each quarter, and then we put the milker on. And she can get it all the way to the point of putting the milker on. And she does a fantastic job.
Wow.
And she can bring the cows in and out. And I got one cow that's 1,800 pounds, and she has no problem dragging that cow right back out where she needs to go. She just gets a hold of her, and those cows are so sweet. And
I was going to say, that cow likes her.
Yeah, she's only 60 pounds. I mean, she's a little bitty thing. These and the cows go right with her, and they don't give her any problem. So
sweet. I love that.
Yeah. So she might end up being my little. I told her, I said, one day, my girls, I said, you could do this instead of having to go work somewhere. Yeah. And I said, you could do this with a family. This is absolutely a good opportunity, and it's not something that a lot of people have, and it's something that a lot of people want. The product. So
okay, so you kind of touched on the next topic that I really want to talk about, which is homesteading. Yes. Y'all are doing the homesteading movement. You're doing it, and that right there, what you just said is perfect example of training or educating, building up the next generation to be able to take those reins and keep those traditions going, and telling her, yes, you can do this. So so those that are listening that are just dying to get into this concept, this way of living and everything, what is some advice that you would tell some folks that are listening and saying, gosh, I want to get out of the city, I want the cow, I want to do this, what do I do, how do I do this?
So
what would you tell them?
You can start where you are there. It feels big to think that you would have to buy land, buy animals, quit your job and do all those things. And it just feels like, oh my goodness, my hands are tied. I could never do that. You can start small. And I've told a lot of people this. You can start by trying to source your food. If you can't grow it yourself where you are, which you can grow a lot of things in town and on a small scale. You can grow a lot of things. But if you can't, find somewhere you can buy them, and more homesteading is not technically it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to save all this money because I'm growing it myself. No, you're not going to save money. No, it is a way of life. It is not. Yep. It is not the cheap way. Right. It is better is not cheaper. Right. I always say that over and over with the milk. Yes. Better is not easier, nor is it cheaper.
I gotta tell you, there's so many. I've had countless people that have said to me, I want to get chickens so I can have my own eggs and I can save money instead of buying them in the store. I laugh at them. I'm like, okay, we need to talk. We need to talk.
Because in the store, they're so much cheaper. And I have people say all the time, well, why would I buy your milk, for $10 a gallon when I could buy it for $3 or $4 in the store? And I'm like, that's up to you. Better is not cheaper. I'm not saying it's cheaper, but for those who are in their hands are kind of tied as far as they maybe don't have the land, they don't have the resources to just start off and do the homesteading thing. You can source your fresh eggs. You can source your quarters of beef. We also do that, but you can do beef quarters, beef shares. You can do your raw milk. You can find raw milk. If you want it bad enough, you can find it. It's all there. There is places. You just may have to take a little extra time and look for it. But you can start by doing that. Learn how to make your own bread. The sourdough thing has blown up like crazy, but it's so good. And it doesn't have to be sourdough. It can be yeast. It can be whatever. Right. Learn how to make your own bread and make 2 or 3 loaves one time a week and use that for your sandwich bread. Use it all week. Use your eggs that maybe your neighbor down the road has chickens. Go buy eggs from them. And buy a share of beef or meat chickens. Do those things. You can start anywhere. You can start, if you live in an apartment on a 5th floor, you can start somewhere.
Absolutely.
And you just if it's something that you really want to do, you make that a goal, set up a 5-year goal, 2-year goal, whatever, and work towards that goal. And you won't be sad that you did it. You'll never be sad that you did it. And you can do it while you're working a job if you have a job, and because homesteading is not totally just going to make you all this money and you're going to be able to just automatically stay home.
Right.
So, but you can do it alongside. Like we have the sod, we have beef cattle, we have dairy cattle, we have a lot of things going on. And that's what we do, but we love it. So it's almost like we're not working because we absolutely love what God has given us. I would say, and I don't know, you probably have more you could add to that, but start really start small. That is the common theme that we hear from so many people. Start small, but just start. Yeah, do it. Yeah, just do it. And choose one thing. Choose one thing. Yeah, don't think that you have to go out and you have to build the barn and buy the donkey and get the tractor all at the same time. No, because then you're gonna you might get into it and burn yourself out too and say, okay, this is really not for me. But you can start small by choosing, okay, all right, I'm going to buy everything else at the store, but I'm going to get my beef from this local person that is raising it local and I know where it's coming from. I'm going to start there. I'm going to buy a share of beef. And then, you know what? In a couple months, I might want to buy my chickens. Buy all my chickens from somebody local. That kind of thing. It just feels like if you try and think that, okay, I have to be doing all of it right now. You don't. You're going to put it off and you're going to put it off and you're never going to start. But if you start, at least you started, It's even as simple as learning how to water bath tomato sauce. Yep. And you don't even have to do the pressure canner. Water bath your but go to a local farmer market who sells get a bulk of tomatoes, bring them home, chop them up, put them in your jars, put them in your water bath canner, which is just boiling hot water for 10 minutes. And you've got your own tomato sauce. You don't have to do the store-bought kind. Spaghetti sauce. You could turn it into anything you want. Soup, anything that you want. Yeah, it's huge. It is huge. All those small steps. And there's so many people around, so many resources nowadays that they will help you start. Like there's people like you or like me that are cheerleaders for those things, Absolutely. And we want to see people succeed. And just because you're starting on a small scale doesn't mean that we don't want you to succeed. So that is, the magazine I'm really excited about the magazine because I think that's going to encourage a lot of people to just go out and just start. Just close your eyes and pick one thing and start. Yeah, just start. Do it. We started. I mean, that's how we got started. Yeah. And I know that's how y'all got started. You just pick something and just start. Just do it. Yeah. Don't say, Well, one day, whenever I have property, I'll do that. No.
No,
Just
don't wait for the property. No.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
Start
Mm-mm.
now.
Yep. We'd like to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors for this episode, Murray McMurray Hatchery. Now, whether you're starting your first backyard flock or expanding your homestead, Murray McMurray Hatchery is going to have everything that you're going to need. From healthy heritage breed chicks to trusted poultry supplies and expert advice that you can count on. For over a century, families across America have trusted McMurray to help their flocks flourish. One egg, one hatch, and one happy homesteader at a time. Go visit them at mcmurrayhatchery.com today and discover why their tradition of quality is still hatching strong. Now back to our show. All right. How do you balance all of this? You go from you've got your sod business, you've got your dairy, you've got your homestead, you've got your beef cattle, you are homeschooling. Girl, you've got a lot. How do you balance all that out? And there's joy in what you are doing, because I see it every time I see you. You're just exuberant. You're just shining joy through everything. So
it's not my strength, it's God's strength. He gave me the energy to be able to start the day and push through. And I people ask me that all the time. They're like, how do you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. It's not me. It's not my strength. That's the Lord working through me, I guess. Because I know that I have the jobs of probably 10 people, but I'm so blessed to have the physical ability to be able to accomplish it all. And I have a lot of people helping me. I've got all my kids, my husband, my family, and then we have hired help that are amazing, and it makes it work. And so being able to delegate those things, maybe I don't have to do all of it myself. And so I have been really blessed to find and put people in places where I could continue to do things and it wouldn't weigh me down too much to where I just, would go under.
But you enjoy it.
Oh, and I love it.
Yeah, when you find joy in what you're doing, you don't work.
I don't know.
I
don't work a day in my life. I love it. I love every aspect of it. I mean, there might be whole weeks at a time that we are at the ranch working our beef cattle operation. And so 4 or 5 times a year, we're there for a whole week. And on those weeks, we don't homeschool. There's not time for that. But all of our kids are out there. They're working. They're on horses. They're in the pens. They're doing all the things.
They're learning. They are learning. Yeah.
They know how to do all the things. They understand why. They, more than they realize, that's their school is doing all these things, these day-to-day things that we do. And I would put any one of them up against most adults that are around, and they would.
Oh, yes.
They would probably.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Do some teaching, some schooling to them. So,
I agree.
Michael and I are modeling this life and how to problem solve, because we have problems all the time. We're how to problem solve, how to be a good steward of the land that God gave us, and on top of it all, how to be thankful for what we have in the life that we live and not take it for granted. And
you're also teaching them communication. You're teaching them teamwork. You're teaching them how to work effectively, and you also are teaching them the value of what it means to work a good hard day.
Yes.
Come home, because you are working hard when you're working cattle.
Yes, I know it. They come home and they're so exhausted, and they'll go to sleep, and then we have to wake back up at 4:30 in the morning again and go again. And there's some mornings that they're hard to drag out of bed, but by the time I get them awake and they're going, they're ready to go. They love it.
They love it.
I tell them all the time, you don't understand that. You have no idea, because that, you would normally have to be going to school,
Yes.
7 or 8 hours a day.
Uh-huh.
And people say, well, do you worry about missing that whole week of school? And I'm like, no, actually I don't, because they have learned so much more in that time period, in my opinion, than those are life skills that they'll never forget, and they will always use. I mean, they're even doing math out there. We gotta calculate what each cow gets, wormer and different things, whatever they get. They're learning all of it. They're learning how to use their body to push a cow a certain way, and pivot points on cattle, and dealing with livestock, and cutting calves, and just doing all the things, and working together with the whole group of us, our whole family that is out there working. And it's just, we don't work a day in our lives.
Yeah,
we might get real tired and real sweaty, but we don't work a day in our lives.
I love it. I love it. Yep. It's great.
It is.
All right. So I have kept you a while, but this has been, I think we could probably keep talking more and more. Forever. We talk a lot. So, but that's okay. I love it.
And we can do another podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Eventually.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. Thank you. All right. So if somebody is curious and they want to connect with you to do the raw milk or to ask you questions, I know you guys are always open to talking and sharing.
Yeah.
How can people connect with you? Where can they find you on Facebook?
Under my name. So it's Jenna Brucker. Jenna Brucker. And I believe the profile picture has me and my husband and a cow in it.
Okay.
So
pretty
it's probably a little bit hard to know that you got the right one.
Well, I'll definitely find it and I'll put it in the show notes. And then that way, if you are interested in learning more about Brucker Bunch and their raw milk that they do, we'll put their Facebook page in the show notes. You can be able to click on that and get that right over to them. And just Jenna, thank you. This was so fun. I love it. I love talking to you about things milk. I'm thirsty for milk now, so I will be going to getting a glass.
Yes.
And we mentioned it before, but you can find the story and those pictures, and I'm pretty sure Zona is probably going to be in there. All of the kids were so adorable during the photo shoot. It was just great. So we are excited to see what this looks like coming out. So y'all are going to want to make sure you pick up your copy of the Florida Homesteader magazine coming out this fall, this November. You can read more about Jenna and see her beautiful children, and we'll just kind of get to know them better. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate this.
Thank you.
This was fun.
I appreciate it.
This was fun. All right. Until next time, we'll catch y'all in a little bit. So thank you.
Yeah.
That's what homesteading in Florida means, and that's the story that we're proud to share in the Florida Homesteader. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, share this episode with a friend, leave us a rating, and check out our magazine, the blog, and our YouTube channel for even more Florida homestead inspiration. Until next time, keep growing, keep preserving, and keep the homesteading spirit alive. Y'all come back now.